Hello and welcome to episode 72 of the Bearded Banter podcast, the gaming podcast where my son Josh here has some fucking cereal that he's munching down on. Son, what cereal are you eating?
I'm eating Reese Puff.
Oh, my favorite. See, I raised you well.
Mm-hmm.
I raised you well because that is the ultimate cereal, and no one can tell me otherwise.
If you disagree that Reese Puffs is not a good cereal, you're stupid.
You're a fucking disgrace. Anyway, hi, welcome back to Bearded Banter. I'm your host, Shane the Bearded One. With me, I'm joined by my son, Josh. Say hi, Josh.
Hello.
And as you can see, a father-son duo once again because my normal co-host, Matt, and our other co-host, Spencer, were busy today. So Josh and I are going to be taking the reins for this podcast. It's going to be a fun time, at least until the end.
They're not busy, Shane.
Are they dead?
They're stupid.
Oh.
They're stupid.
I thought they were dead. That's every time I'm like, they're not busy. Well, where are they? They must be dead.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, welcome back to the show. If you're not familiar with our format, we usually start with some general gaming discussion, talk about what games we've been playing lately, and then to end that off, we have our discussion question of the week, and then we will go right into the news, which we're in the post-E3 drought, so even though I have about 12 stories here to cover that caught my eye, none of them are super big. They're all very small, insufficient pieces of news, so we'll probably get through this pretty quickly, all things considered. But if we're ready, Josh, we can get started with general discussion.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, general discussion starting now. So, we haven't had a normal podcast in about a month, because the last show we did was our E3 discussion. So, it's been about a month since we talked gaming. So, Josh, what have you been playing lately? And has it been anything other than RuneScape?
Yes.
Well, that's a fucking shocker, actually.
I have been playing Super Dimension Neptunia RPG.
Yes. We talked about that a while ago. Last time it was just you and I, because that got a release date. So how is it?
Yes. It's...
That's the sound of disappointment right there.
It's a fun game, but compared to other Neptune games, oh sweet Mary Mother of Christ. We got actual gaming news. This just in. The Steam Summer Sale has just started.
God damn it, Josh! You're fucking spoiling our news section.
Oh.
Shut up!
Don't mind that. Never mind.
Just talk about what the fuck Super Dimension Neptunia or whatever the fuck. Just talk about it.
Okay. So anyway, Super Neptunia RPG. So unlike other Neptune games, which are 3D JRPGs, this takes a change for the turn and goes to a 2D game, kind of like Paper Mario. However, everything is great. The gameplay, it's all right, but the art, the animation, and the story are all Neptunia top tier. It's hilarious, it's memey, and it's filled with jokes. But the problem lies in the combat system. It's shit. Like it's really shit, man.
Old words.
It feels like a mobile game.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah. So basically the way that combat system is when you start a game, both your enemy and you have a combat gauge that fills up slowly that lets you do attacks.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like old Final Fantasy, but worse.
That sounds a lot like FF7 ATB, which is the main issue I had with Final Fantasy VII, why I couldn't get into it, because I couldn't fucking stand waiting for my goddamn bar to fill just to attack. Like,
it's like that. It's like ATB, but it's worse. As well, the level design is kinda Like, granted, Neptunia games are known for, especially the older ones, repeating level design.
mm-hmm.
The level design aspects, like graphics and everything, but this is just kind of really basic. Which is a shame, too, because it had a lot of potential, man. It looks gorgeous in the soundtrack. Like I said, the soundtrack, the game, the fucking story itself is great, but that combat system, man, just makes me want to poke my eyes out.
Like, that's the main reason why I couldn't get into Final Fantasy VII, because it's got the ATB gauge where you perform an attack and then you have to wait like 10 seconds for this bar to fill up before you can attack again. And my definition of a turn-based game is you do your move, the opponent does their move, back and forth, no stops in between.
Mm-hmm.
So when you fucking purposely limit the combat by having us wait for this goddamn bar to fill, it grinds battles to a fucking halt. And the way you describe this, it sounds a lot like that, which means that I'm probably not, even if I do by some chance play Super Neptunia RPG, which I doubt it, but if I ever end up playing it, I don't think I'm gonna like it just because of that, and that's a shame.
The thing is, they had no reason to change the combat system because Neptune's combat system was pretty well developed by now. I'm gonna mention Neptune V2R. That combat system was like almost perfect. It was turn-based, but it had enough going on that it didn't feel that slow or clunky.
Mm-hmm.
So they just threw that all out the window.
Yep.
And now it's gotta wait for the new mainline game, which eventually will come, but
this is the part where Josh laments over the fact that there hasn't been a mainline Neptunia game in 4 years.
Yeah. And the thing was, the last mainline game in V2 was arguably the best Neptune game too.
So even when they do eventually continue it, it has a lot to live up to.
It has a lot to live up to. Like, this was... Let me pull up the rating on Steam for Mega Dimension Neptunia V2. Oh, it's on for $8.50. Damn, good price. Yeah, hey, if anyone wants to get into the Neptune series, it's pretty cheap, too. They put it on sale a lot. There we go, 95%. Overwhelmingly positive. So hey, if you want to
go on,
if you want a fun JRPG to play, pick up Hyperdimension Neptunia.
Yeah, from how you've described it, it seems like old school Final Fantasy fans will probably get a kick out of it. But if you're not into that kind of combat, just avoid it.
I think anime fans in general too will really enjoy it.
Well, that's a bit overgeneralizing.
Well, it's definitely aimed towards that fan base.
But has there been anything else you've been playing lately, son? I know there's one other game that isn't RuneScape.
Oh yeah, Minecraft. So, I haven't played vanilla Minecraft in quite a long time, but I still enjoy to play it now and then, and I decided I'm going to host a server.
Yeah, you know what I just realized?
Huh.
Is that Minecraft has crossplay, so we can play together.
It does?
Yeah. It's got... Minecraft has crossplay on Xbox, Switch, mobile, and PC, I believe. So,
well, damn.
So I thought about that the other day when you were talking about starting up your server. I'm like, wait a sec. We could do like a Minecraft stream one day, and we could just play Minecraft for like 2 or 3 hours. Because it does have crossplay. So,
and I do own a server, so.
And I do have Minecraft, several versions of it.
I'll probably have you play on PC, just because I don't know if you'd be able to go onto a modded server.
Well, bitch, I have it on Switch, not PC.
Ooh.
That's why I said, hey, crossplay, because I don't play on PC. You should know this by now.
Yeah, I should, shouldn't I?
Where's that Superman gif of the joke going right over your head?
Joke me.
That's like my favorite gif right now. Because you're stupid.
Yeah.
But anyway, how's the server going?
Good.
Do you have, like, anyone in the server?
Nope.
Well, that's a heartwarming story for the ages.
Mm-hmm.
But Minecraft is a good game.
Yes, it is.
Minecraft is, like... It's right up there with things like Animal Crossing and Harvest Moon and Stardew Valley. It's extremely peaceful, super relaxing. Like, the ultimate wind-down game. Like, if you've had a hard day at work or you're stressed about something, just play Minecraft for a couple hours and you'll probably cool down pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Unless you decide to go into the mines and there's creepers. And then you lose all the diamonds that you just got. And they fall in the lava.
Oh.
Sorry, PTSD. Minecraft PTSD.
I'm just having a jolly old time right now, you know. On Steam.
Are you just... We'll get to that, don't worry.
Oh, we will.
We'll get to that. But, is there anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, RuneScape, don't play it.
Okay, so, what I've been playing lately, I've just been playing a mishmash of a bunch of different games. I've been playing, of course, every week it's the same goddamn thing. I've been playing DMC5, but I was playing something different. You might have seen the stream we did about a week ago, where I finally started Bloody Palace, and I got to floor 90 on my first try, and then died to King Cerberus at the last hit. And ooh boy, that was not fun. But
I can imagine.
But Bloody Palace is Bloody Palace. If you don't know what it is in DMC, it's 101 floors of enemies. And you have to go through it in one shot. And it's just an excuse to play more DMC5 and explore the combat more, which I've actually been kind of working on my combos, as you could see in the Bloody Palace stream. Even though I was using Super Nero, I've actually been timing my hits and figuring out my combo strings, and I've actually been getting better at the game, which is very good for me, because I love those kind of games where I could just go balls deep into the combat system and figure it out. But yeah, Bloody Palace was a thing. That was a fun stream. Probably do another stream soon. Actually try to beat it this time, because every subsequent time I've tried after that stream, I've gotten worse and worse. Like, I went from floor 90 to floor 60 to floor 56 to floor 49, and I'm like, shit. Ooh. Fuck. Ooh. But aside from that, I've been playing a little bit of Sega Superstars Tennis, which I got in that 360 video that I did not too long ago. I said in that video that I do actually very like those arcadey style sports games, like the Mario Tennis games, the kart racers, things like that. So I picked that up for super cheap, and it's actually a very good game. Pretty standard, all things considered, which honestly is the biggest drawback to those Sega sports franchises, that they're pretty generic, all things considered, even though they do utilize the fuck out of those Sega properties. But in terms of actual gameplay, pretty standard arcadey style tennis game. If you played a Mario Tennis game, you know what you're getting into. The big thing that sets it apart, though, is that everyone has a superstar move where you build up a meter, and then you basically have a super move that lets you fuck your opponent raw dog style with that tennis ball. Even though most of the time it doesn't work, because the AI, for some reason, is at its best when it's going up against superstar moves. So, like, you use Sonic's, and he turns supersonic, and he just fucking curves that ball so hard that no one be able to get it. But somehow, the computer always gets it. And it's weird. But the game's fun. It's got a really interesting take on story mode, where it's more mission-based than anything, where you go to the different Sega worlds and do specific missions, and there's different styles of games and mini-games and different tournament-style modes that you can partake in. It's very fun, albeit pretty standard for a tennis game, but that's what you're getting into when you go to Sega, I guess.
True.
One game that I don't want to spend too much time on, but I did very much enjoy my time with. I've been meaning to play this game for years because it got super popular when it came out, especially when it came to VR. And they just put it up on Game Pass a couple weeks ago. So I've been playing Superhot. And oh My God, Superhot. Super hot. Super hot. So anyway, so Superhot basically does exactly what I wanted to, in that it takes a genre that has been milked to death and is oversaturated as fuck in today's market and makes it new again. Because the whole point of Superhot is not to shoot people, it's to strategize how to shoot people. Because the whole gimmick of Superhot is that time only moves when you do. So it's less a shooter and more of a tactical strategy game, where you have to memorize the layout of the levels, the placement of enemies, figure out exactly where you want to move and where you want to shoot. It's basically like a super tactical strategy game in that sense, because your mind is constantly going haywire, trying to figure out, okay, I need to move here, turn this way a certain angle, shoot this guy, turn around, this guy's going to spawn here, I need to shoot him, throw my gun at this guy to break the window, stun him, grab his gun, shoot him with his own gun. And it's like, and then the biggest payoff is at the end of the level, where you see a replay of your fucking carnage in real time, and you feel like a goddamn John Wick superstar, because holy fucking god, there has been nothing in games lately that has given me more satisfaction than seeing the replay at the end of a Superhot level, because it's just a fucking symphony of destruction, and it's pure bliss. And I'm not super into VR, but from what I've heard, this game is even better in VR. It gets even crazier. So if you haven't played Superhot yet, please do. It's relatively cheap on most platforms, and it's on Game Pass now if you have an Xbox or PC, because Game Pass is on PC now. So if you wanna go for that, it's still super cheap right now. Game Pass Ultimate is still $1. So go get that, play Superhot. It's fucking incredible. But the last two games I want to talk about really quickly, the main games I've been playing lately, is Smash Ultimate Online and Banjo Kazooie. And with Smash Ultimate Online, Josh knows where I'm going with this, and I don't think he's happy about it. But ever since we did that Smash video, I've been playing my Ganon, and I got him extremely close to Elite Smash. He's at like 4.3 million GSP now, so I might do a video soon trying to get him into Elite Smash. But yeah, Smash Online gets a lot of flack for obvious reasons, but my experiences are usually pretty good for the most part. Like, there's a match here and there where that's super laggy or has input delay that's like half a second and it's basically unplayable. But I'd say like 80% of the time I get pretty good matches with fairly stable connections. And playing Smash Online is just fun, so that's all I have to say about that. And the last game, Banjo-Kazooie, of course, riding on that fucking Banjo Smash hype. I went back to actually play Banjo-Kazooie for the first time in a couple years. And I played it for like 3-4 hours, and I'm already like 2/3 of the way through the game. I just beat Freezeezy Peak last night, and I'm on to Mad Monster Mansion now. Banjo-Kazooie is heckin' fun, and if you've never played it, for the love of God, what are you doing? I've always said, even since I was a kid, like back in the 90s, that Banjo-Kazooie was better than Mario 64 in like every conceivable way, because it is. And no one can argue that with me, because I won't listen. I will plug my ears and go la 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 la, because Banjo is better than Mario 64, hashtag confirmed. It just controls better, its levels are more memorable and imaginative, it's got more collectibles, which sometimes can be a bad thing, but Banjo-Kazooie with its collectibles really balances things out, where there's the right amount of each collectible so that it's not overly cluttered, but the levels aren't barren. Like, there's always something to find. So, play Banjo-Kazooie for the love of God. Get hyped for Banjo coming to Smash sometime this fall. And yeah, I think that's it for general discussion, unless you have anything else you want to talk about, Josh.
No.
Okay. So
I'm pretty good.
So before we get on to the news, we have to go on to our discussion question of the week, which is something I brought back last episode, the last episode we had before E3. I used to do this all the time when Banter was just starting, where I'd have at least one, sometimes more discussion questions that I'd pose to the group, and we briefly discuss them. So every podcast, to end off our discussion section, we have our discussion question of the week, something related to gaming. And this week, it's a very simple question, but one that might take you a little bit to figure out. I've been thinking about this a lot, and every time I think about it, I always come back to one answer that's just my tried and true. But, Josh, what is your game of the year for 2019 so far? Because we're halfway through the year, so we should be thinking about this at this point. So what's your game of the year so far?
Give me a second. I want to pull up a list of games that have come out this year.
I'm pretty sure your answer is going to be what I think it is, but you could prove me wrong.
What? Do you think I'm going to say Neptune?
Oh, God, no. You forget the other big game that came out this year that you loved to death. Don't worry, Josh just forgets what he plays a lot. It's fine.
Okay, here,
Just give him a sec to refresh his memory.
let's see.
It's gotta be what I'm thinking. And if it's anything else, I'm gonna be very disappointed.
There's what I want. Games released.
Once he finds it'll be obvious.
Resident Evil 2?
Yep.
Possibly. Resident Evil 2 was a great game. But let me just see what else has come out this year.
Well, okay. In the meantime, while you figure that out...
It's obviously Jump Force.
Of course. In the meantime, while you figure that out, I'll briefly talk about mine, because I've talked about it to death already. Out of all the games I've played in 2019 so far that have come out this year, there's one that stands above the rest. Easily one of the best games I've played, not only this year, but in the past few years. Like, I've had more fun with this game than I've had with any other game in a while. Probably since Sonic Mania came out. So my pick for Game of the Year so far, and it's going to take a lot to top it, is Devil May Cry 5. Easy choice, of course. I've been talking about it to death on the podcast ever since it came out. This game is... I won't call it perfect, but it is as close to perfect as a game possibly can be in my eyes. Graphics are outstanding, sound design is phenomenal, soundtrack is fucking baller, characters are great, voice acting, script is great, story is surprisingly deep and emotionally resonant, talking about lineage and passing the torch, and the gameplay is the best it's ever been, so easy choice for me. Oh no. So, what's your pick?
Yeah, it's probably going to be Resident Evil 2. So far, best game of the year has been Resident Evil 2. Capcom's just kicking ass so far, man. They've been kicking ass lately.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
they've had a
2,
massive comeback.
Man, Resident Evil 2 is like, you want to know what a good horror game should be like? Look at this game, bitch. Like, this was your classic old school horror. Sure, they took a few liberties, but man, was it good.
And it's the right kind of remake, too, where they don't skimp on anything.
They don't skip on anything. They fucking go hard. They go hard on this shit, man, and it was good.
Mm-hmm. So Resident Evil 2 is your pick, like I thought it would be.
Yep.
Well, that was fun. But I will be back momentarily. Josh, if you could give us a sponsor message while I'm gone.
Sure. Today we'd like to thank our sponsors, IFI, and Compile Heart. You might know them for creating Hyperdimension Neptunia, along with some other games, but mostly Hyperdimension Neptunia. If you like their stuff, go buy Hyperdimension Neptunia. Not sponsored, but yes, we are sponsored. And we'd also like to thank our other sponsor, Best Girl, Amelia. For all you Rem lovers out there, you can go fuck yourself. Because guess what? Amelia is better than Rem, and you know it's true. You're just trying to be stupid. And fuck you, I'm right, you're wrong. Shane's a big dum-dum for liking Rem, but I mean, like, what can we do? He's a big dum-dum. I'd also like to thank your sponsor, Coca-Cola. Wait, shit, no. Pepsi. Yes, Pepsi. Yes. Very good. Pepsi is very delicious. Drink it. They make Mountain Dew, and Mountain Dew is gamer fuel. Be a real capital G gamer, boys. Stand up and drink Mountain Dew and pour it on the infidels. Or something like that. Fuck if I know. We've run out of sponsors. This is a problem. Here, let me just go buy some new sponsors for us. Yes, I'd like to thank our sponsor, Hentai Haven. If you want good, free subtitled hentai and 1080p beautiful quality, so good that you can see your parents' disappointment, go to hentaihaven.org. And I'd like to thank our other sponsor, N Hentai. If you want some good hentai manga to read, oh boy, do they got you covered. Don't want to spend a whole bunch of money on Faku? Well, your boys at N Hentai have you covered. Thousands upon hundreds of thousands of dirty, fucked up hentai. They got you covered. Fuck. Yeah, I've run out of things to say, people. So, like, we're just gonna sit here and talk about RuneScape, I guess. Don't play RuneScape. It's bad for you. It makes you hate yourself. But it takes a really long time. Shout out to Bodhi, pretty good YouTuber. You know, Yaga. Solo Mission, he's a pretty cool dude. Theoatrix makes some pretty good guides if you want to get to that 99 skill. Man, he's really taking a long time. People, I think Shane has died. I'd like you to type F in chat. Say bye-bye to Shane. I'll pull up some sad music for us to listen to give our respects to our dead friend. Jantran.
All right, I'm back. I'm sorry.
Here, people, I promised my people a song.
Son of a bitch. What did I walk into?
I was promising my people a song. I said you died. I said you died, so...
Well, I didn't die. My mother came home with groceries, so I apologize for the delay.
Yeah, I was sitting there. I'm trying to make up sponsors. I'm like, fuck this thing.
Yeah, just give a fake eulogy for me. That's fine. I don't care.
Oh, I just did 8 different sponsors, including Hentai Haven and...
Of course you did. Of course you did, Hentai Haven.
I also thanked IFI Industries and Compile Heart and said go buy Neptune.
Of course.
Yeah.
All right. Bye-bye.
Oh, the podcast... Okay, bye-bye, people. Podcast is over. Fuck off.
Podcast is over.
Oh, I also told them to go support Amelia.
Yeah.
And I told anyone that if they like Rem, they're stupid and wrong.
Well, thanks for insulting my intelligent son. Anyway.
Anyways, yeah, people, don't like Rem. She's trash compared to Amelia.
But anyway, sorry for that delay. My mother came home with groceries and she needed my help because I am a good son. Even the podcast can't stop me from being a good son. But with that said, that wraps up our discussion. We had our discussion questions, so it's time to go right into the news.
Let's get right to the news.
So like I said, a little dead this week. We do have 12 stories, but they're all very small stories. Post E3 drought does that. We're not getting anything big until probably next month, maybe August for Gamescom. But
Yeah.
let's go over what news we do have, which, starting off with a bang, which Josh unceremoniously spoiled right at the beginning here. The Steam Summer Sale is underway.
Get your fucking wallets ready, people.
Yep, prepare your bank accounts, boys. It's that time of year again. Valve has kicked off the Steam Summer Sale, offering discounts on hundreds of games across the platform. A few highlights of this year's sale include 34% off DMC5, 50% off Assassin's Creed Odyssey, half off of 2 Point Hospital, 70% off Jurassic World Evolution, half off Final Fantasy 15, and half off Monster Hunter World. In addition to the sale, Valve has launched a new minigame called Steam Grand Prix. Players must choose a team and then buy games, play eligible games, and complete quests to earn points. Valve will select random members at the top 3 teams to get the top item on their Steam wishlist. Steam Summer Sale ends on July 9th, which, if we bring up our trusty calendar here, July 9th is about 2 weeks away. So you got more than enough time to go on Steam and spend your entire checking account on video games.
And your savings.
Yeah. Just spend all your money. Just all of it.
Well, I think a good sale I saw was the Borderlands 2 Handsome Collection is on for 97% off.
Which means
it's like $4.
Okay. And that's Borderlands 2 Handsome. That's Borderlands 2 pre-sequel and all of the DLC for $4. The Steam Summer Sale is a magical time of the year where PC gamers come together and collectively spend all their cash.
Or like I said, one of our wonderful sponsors, Neptunia, is on for like $8 per game. Did you just die?
No, I thought you were going to tell us more of the Steam sales.
Oh, no, I'm saying that the Hyperdimension series is on really cheap.
Okay. Well, any PC gamers out there, it's that time of the year again. Flock to Steam, see what sales are up. You'll probably get a big AAA game for like $2. It's fine.
Yeah.
Just pace yourself. Make sure you have at least a little bit of money left for yourself afterwards. But, moving on. This is kind of a follow-up from a story we covered a little while ago. This is purely from me. But we got yet another character announcement for Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. These new screenshots feature Blue Vegeta Evolved, which I'm going to get into that in a second. But the article from EGM. A new batch of screenshots from Bandai Namco for Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 offer a look at Vegeta Blue Evolved in the game. As previously announced, the character will join the roster soon as a paid DLC character and has access to a quicker Final Flash move, as well as an upgrade to his Final Blow, which will now instantly teleport Vegeta to his opponent. No date was given for this release. Now, like I said, this is purely from me. This is kind of a follow-up of the story we covered a couple months ago when they announced God Vegeta was coming to the game. This one is a little more weird, all things considered, because anyone who's watched Super knows about Blue Evolved. It's like, it's Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta pushing past his limits. The form itself is dumb. Like, it serves no purpose. It looks stupid. He uses it to beat one guy, and then he fucking dies. Like, it's just, of all the characters that you could have put, this is the one you chose. On top of the fact that there's already, like, 6 Vegetas in the game. Like, I honestly think that this is Xenoverse 2 kind of just, like, scraping the bottom of the barrel. Desperately trying to hold on to what little player base it has left. But that's just me. Like, if I had to pick a character for DLC, I'd pick, like, one of the Universe 11 guys. Like, you already have Jiren in the game, but why not Topo or Dispo? Like, characters like that. Instead of a inferior Blue Vegeta that no one likes. It's just kind of dumb. It's kind of like how I feel with the Jump Force DLC. Like, they just recently revealed Bakugo, and Bakugo looks like shit. But, again, this story was just for me, and again, it's pretty slow. So, moving on.
We won't be seeing a lot for a while.
Yeah. Moving on, something infinitely more interesting. Speaking of characters joining fighting game rosters, we just got a new character announcement for Dissidia Final Fantasy NT. Tifa is joining the roster. Which, I mean, it's Tifa.
Tifa's pretty, yum.
Tifa interesting. So, let's read the article. Final Fantasy VII's Tifa Lockhart will be the next character added to Dissidia Final Fantasy NT, Square Enix has announced. The trailer below shows Tifa taking on Sephiroth with the help of Cloud and shows off her Final Fantasy VII and Advent Children outfits. Tifa will be added to the PC version of the game on July 2nd, with a PS4 release following the day after on July 3rd. A free edition of the game is available now on both platforms that contains a rotating roster of 4 playable characters, which... yeah. The thing about Dissidia is, unfortunately, that game was kind of dead on arrival.
Oof.
Because I would know personally, because I bought it brand new right when it came out, because I was actually pretty hyped for it. And all things considered, it's fine, but it doesn't have enough to sustain it. So the fact that they're adding new characters, it doesn't say here whether or not she's paid DLC or a free update. So it could go 50-50 on that. Not entirely sure.
Yeah.
But at least they're trying to support it. But the fact that it's already a free-to-play game just over a year after it came out, I don't think any characters that you add at this point are really going to save this game. Like, the only people who are playing this at this point are the hardcore Dissidia fans, and that's pretty much it. Even though Tifa is a great choice because everyone loves Tifa, she's like ultimate Final Fantasy waifu. It just Tifa's not going to save a game that's already pretty much dead, you know? And it's really unfortunate because this game had a lot of potential, but it's unfortunate how that goes. But hey, if you still play Dissidia NT, you'll be able to play Tifa very soon, so that's at least cool.
Yes.
But, moving on, here we have another story that is also a follow-up to something we covered a while ago. We got the surprise announcement out of nowhere back in May that the original Devil May Cry was coming to the Switch. Well, guess what, bitches? It's already out. Let's read the article. A Nintendo eShop listing for the original Devil May Cry has confirmed that the game will be available on Nintendo Switch on June 24th in North America and June 25th in Europe. The game is priced at $20 and will require 9.2 gigs of free space. As previously announced, the Switch release is a port of the original Devil May Cry found in the 2000... That's a typo. It's not 2008. The 2012 HD Remaster Collection, but there's been no news regarding Devil May Cry 2 or 3 coming to Nintendo's console. So, Devil May Cry is on the Switch right now. You can go play it if you so desire. I've read a few reviews of the Switch port, and that it's not as clean as the other HD remasters, which of course it's the Switch, it's not going to be. But it's still a very faithful port, and another great way to play the original Devil May Cry. The only problem here is pricing, because it's not as horrifically expensive as we thought it would be, but $20 for the first game when you can spend just as much to get all 3 on different platforms, it's kind of a steep hill to climb. Which, this is the Switch's, like, one major issue, other than, not being as powerful as the other consoles. Its games are ridiculously overpriced for no reason, but Nintendo, am I right? So, if you so desire to play the original Devil May Cry on the go, you can go buy it right now on the eShop. It's listed for $20. If you have literally any other console known to man, you can spend that same amount to get all 3 of the original games, better quality, in one package. But I digress. It's still cool that it did come out on the Switch, and hopefully this means that some good things for Devil May Cry with Nintendo are coming soon.
Yeah.
But moving on, we have some DLC news. We've known about Catherine Full Body, the remaster of Catherine, for a while. It's coming out in September. But we just got confirmation that there's going to be Persona 5 DLC, and that it is getting a Western release. So, let's read. During its Catherine party last night, Atlus revealed that it will be bringing Catherine Full Body's Persona 5 DLC to the West. The DLC includes Persona 5 protagonist Joker as a playable character in Catherine's Babel and Coliseum modes, and includes commentary from the English voice cast of Persona 5. The add-on is included in the deluxe digital version of Catherine Full Body and will be getting a standalone release after the game launches. Catherine Full Body launches September 3rd for the PlayStation 4. So, we've known about this for a while. The game is coming out in September. Of course, Persona 5 exploded in popularity, so everything Atlus puts out has to have Persona 5 in it now. I'm not complaining, because Persona 5 rocks, and Joker is a great character, so...
Yeah.
Hey. Nothing you can really complain about. Did you ever play Catherine, Josh?
No.
It's hard as dick, okay? Let me tell you. So...
Does it make the dick hard, though?
No, it destroys it. So, Catherine is this weird kind of isometric puzzle game where you're climbing a tower of blocks, and you have to pull out blocks to ascend the tower, but you also have to avoid traps and obstacles along the way. Even on normal difficulty, this game is fucking extremely punishing. Hopefully they've reworked that for this remake, but hey, Persona 5 in Catherine, sign me the fuck up.
Sounds pretty cool.
Moving on, though. This is the shill news article right here, because it means I get to shill this thing that I love. 4 more games are being added to Game Pass this month, so let's talk about Game Pass. Microsoft has announced that it will be adding 4 more games to its Xbox Game Pass subscription service over the next couple of weeks. The first 2 titles arrived on June 20th. Those included Capcom's survival horror game Resident Evil Revelations and Rare's collection of classic games Rare Replay. Both these games will be available on Xbox One. Following these 2 will be role-playing game Torment Tides of Numenera and Wacky Goat Game Goat Simulator on June 27th. Torment will only be available via Game Pass on PC, while Goat Simulator is included in both Xbox One and PC passes. Microsoft giveth, but also Microsoft taketh away, as it also revealed that 6 games will be removed from the Game Pass service at the end of the month. These games include Next Up Hero, Dead Island Definitive Edition, Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition, Shadow Complex Remastered, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and Zombie Army Trilogy.
Damn.
So we're getting, well, this is an old story. So we've already got Resident Evil Revelations and Rare Replay. But tomorrow, as of this recording, we get Torment and Goat Simulator on Game Pass. Boy, I put this in here because it gave me a chance to shill Game Pass. Guys, for the love of God, if you have an Xbox and you don't have Game Pass, there is something actually wrong with you. Because I've been saying this for months now. Game Pass is the best deal you can possibly get in gaming right now. Especially since it's still only $1. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Get on that shit.
Yeah.
Like, if you have an Xbox One, or hell, even if you have a PC at this point, go get Game Pass Ultimate. It's only $1 right now. You get access to over 200 great games. You get Xbox Live Gold, you get Game Pass for both console and PC. Like, there's no excuse at this point if you play on either of these platforms. You should have Game Pass, and if you don't, I will come to your house and beat the shit out of you until you buy Game Pass.
Yes.
Especially since it's only $1 right now. Like, come on. Anyway, shill mode off. I only threw that in here so I could shill Game Pass because it's like my favorite thing right now. But, moving on. Speaking of Game Pass, one of the games in Game Pass, Monster Hunter World, is getting a beta next week for its Iceborne expansion. So, let's read this article. Capcom has revealed... Oh, it's already done. I'm sorry. I got distracted. Let's read the article.
Well, that's the news.
Capcom has revealed that the first beta test for Monster Hunter World's Iceborne expansion will take place this weekend on PlayStation 4. The beta was available from June 21st to June 23rd, and it was exclusive to PlayStation Plus subscribers. However, this will be followed by a second beta test that runs from June 28th through June 30th, which will be open to all PlayStation 4 owners. A copy of Monster Hunter World is not required to take part in either beta. During the beta, players will be able to take on 3 quests: the beginner-friendly Great Jagras Hunt from Monster Hunter World, a new hunt against the Brute Wyvern Banbaro, and a battle against Tigrex. In addition to these quests, players can try out all 14 weapon types, the new Slinger tool upgrades, and the Clutch Claw grapple mechanic. Players who complete the 3 quests in the beta will be awarded with 3 item packs containing helpful consumable items that will be delivered at launch. Monster Hunter World Iceborne launches September 6th for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, with a PC release to follow this winter. So, out of the 2 of us that are currently in this podcast, Josh is the one who has played more of Monster Hunter. So, how excited are you for the Iceborne expansion, Josh?
Pretty excited. I haven't played Monster Hunter World, but from what I've seen, looks pretty fucking cool. I'm also a huge fan of any like snow-related like gameplay aspects.
Yeah, that's the one thing that stuck out to me with this expansion is that, hey, it's a giant ice level. I love ice levels.
Yeah.
So yeah, so at the time of this recording, the first PS Plus exclusive beta has already ended. However, there is the open beta coming on Friday, carrying through till Sunday. If you have a PS4 and you're interested to try out Monster Hunter World, go ahead and play this beta, because I haven't played much of it, but it is a very high-quality game. Moving on. This one's weird. Nintendo is really trying to get into the mobile market for whatever reason, because they announced Dr. Mario World, which is a Dr. Mario mobile game.
Interesting.
Let's read. So, Nintendo has confirmed that Dr. Mario World will be coming to iOS and Android devices on July 10th, 2019. The game is a match 3 puzzle that sees players matching the correct color capsules to the viruses to eliminate them. Each stage will feature new puzzles to solve, and players will be rewarded with a star rating based on their performance. Being a free-to-play game, there is a stamina system in the form of hearts, which will replenish over time. Players can choose to purchase more hearts if they don't want to wait, with the game's real money currency called diamonds. Diamonds can also be used to retry stages after failing and to buy more items. Finally, players will be able to play as a number of characters, including Dr. Toad, Peach, Yoshi, and Luigi. Each character has a unique skill that can be activated once per match and are unlocked via coins or diamonds. Android and iOS users can pre-register for Dr. Mario World now, ahead of its release next month. So yeah, Dr. Mario mobile game.
I don't know. It's cool and all, but like...
And this... I'm playing the trailer in the background. It honestly just looks like a dumbed-down version of Dr. Mario. Like, it... I don't know, man. Like, it's cool.
Mobile game would die.
Yeah. I honestly don't know who really cares about mobile games at this point. Like, can they please just die out already? Because I think your customer base for mobile games is pretty much gone at this point. The only people I know who play mobile games are my parents. So, like, and
It's a big oof.
it's cool. Like, I'll give Nintendo credit that they're trying to expand their horizons and get into different markets, but that's all I have to really say is Like,
It's just, do we really need this? No.
No. Like, you can play the original Dr. Mario. I'm pretty sure it's on Switch Online. So, plus it's on numerous different virtual console systems for the Wii and Wii U. I'm pretty sure it's on 3DS. There was that remake they did. No, it was Dr. Luigi that they had for WiiWare. Like, there's so many different ways you can play this game. I don't think anyone's going to pick the mobile version over anything else. Like,
yeah,
I'll give them credit. Like, at least they're trying to branch out to new things. But I don't think anyone needed this. No one asked for this.
No one asked for this.
No. I mean, free to play, cool, but then that just leads us back into microtransactions, and microtransactions are slowly dying, so I don't know how this game is gonna fucking sustain itself, but I digress. If you want to play Dr. Mario Mobile, it's coming in July. There you go. Moving on, this is for you, Josh. I picked this specifically for you. We talked a little while ago that the PC beta test for Halo Reach on the Master Chief Collection was pushed back. Well, now we have an official date. Let's read the article. 343 Industries has revealed that the first flight for the Master Chief Collection's Halo Reach will take place on PC next week. According to the developer, if everything goes to plan, then a small subsection of players who have signed up for the Halo Insider program will be invited to test a build of the game and provide feedback. Sign up for the Halo Insider program here. I will copy this link for you and send it to you if you so desire, to be in a chance of being selected. We're starting more modestly because we've got quite a few levers to pull, and we want to ensure our delivery pipeline runs smoothly, our communications are clear, and that participants can properly provide their feedback on the build. Since there are so many pieces and levers that need testing, verification, and appropriate approvals, we need to take our time to ensure we're sending out a quality flight to our Halo insiders. 343 added that the build it currently has appears to be a strong candidate, but is still undergoing testing ahead of next week's planned flight. The Master Chief Collection will be released as separate games on PC, with Halo Reach being the first. So we don't have an official date, but it is happening sometime within the next week. So I'm going to quickly break character and send you this link. So if you want to sign up, you have the opportunity to, because I know you've been looking forward to this for a while.
I just checked online. I fucking want this so bad, man. Oh.
Well, you have the link if you want to sign up for the Halo Insider thing, so you can get a chance to partake in this beta. Hopefully they'll have a public test sometime after this, but it sounds like development is going smoothly, so I know Josh only cares about playing it at this point, but
yeah.
Well, it's good to see that this is going smoothly, and hopefully this test goes well. Moving on, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. We have some Gears 5 news, again, going off of what we just said about microtransactions slowly dying. The Coalition confirmed that Gears 5 will not have a season pass or loot boxes. So let's read. Gears 5 developer The Coalition has shared the first details about how players will earn content in the game. According to the developer, the latest entry in the series will do away with the gear packs from Gears of War 4 and will not have a season pass. In addition, all post-launch maps will be free for all players in both matchmaking and private play. Now, the lack of gear packs and a season pass doesn't mean that there will be no microtransactions in the game at all, of course, as players will still be able to purchase items directly from the in-game store. Players will use an in-game currency called Iron to buy customization options and experience boosts from the in-game store. Iron is purchased using real-world currency, but players can also earn a small amount via the new Tour of Duty system. The developer notes that there will be no RNG involved, so players will always know what they are paying for. As mentioned above, the Tour of Duty system will make its debut in Gears 5. Tour of Duty is Gears' version of the Battle Pass and sees players earning medals to rank up and earn customization content. However, unlike most Battle Passes, there will be no paid premium track for Tour of Duty. Gears 5 launches September 5th for Xbox One and PS4, with players getting to play the game 4 days early if they pre-order the Ultimate Edition. So, this is a good sign. Whenever a developer comes out and says, hey, we're doing away with the season pass, we're doing away with loot boxes, we're going to do our own system. You can still use money to buy them if you so desire, but you do not need to. That's always a good sign. I think this is where the industry is honestly moving, because more and more developers are coming out and saying, hey, we're doing away with season passes, we're doing away with loot boxes. Like, ever since the EA fallout with Battlefront, more and more developers seem to be jumping on the bandwagon of, yeah, microtransactions are bad, we should stop doing that. And that's always a good thing, because it means that the industry is moving in the right direction.
Yes.
Do you have any opinions on this, son?
Fuck microtransactions, good on Gears 5.
Okay, good. I'm actually very excited to play Gears 5, because from what I've seen, it looks very cool. Standard for Gears of War, of course, but
I've never played Gears games, so I really can't say.
Gears 1 is the prime example of first game syndrome. It's good, but there's a lot of jank to it. Gears 2 is one of the best third-person shooters I played. And Gears 3 just does more of that. So Gears is weird, because it's one of Microsoft's top franchises at this point. It's one of the Xbox's headliners, but it's never gotten as big as something like Halo. It's never reached that upper echelon, and I find that weird, because the Gear games are quality, but they just never reach that level for some reason.
Yes.
I just find that weird, but the Gears games are always quality. Except for Judgment, I heard that one was not great, but I digress. So yeah, Gears 5 won't have Season Pass, and it won't have loot boxes, so that's a good sign.
Yes.
Moving on. Going back to Square Enix, real quick. This is an interesting development. Square Enix is interested in having its own subscription service.
Oh.
Let's read. In a recent interview with Games Industry, Square Enix president Yosuke Matsuda revealed that the company is exploring the possibility of having a subscription service for its games. We are exploring at present both possibilities, and we do already provide games for Microsoft's Game Pass. But at the end of the day, the direction that we're thinking about is having a channel of our own. Subscription services has become all the rage lately, with Ubisoft being the latest publisher to get in on the act with its recently announced Uplay Plus program. However, it may be a while before we see anything from Square Enix, as Matsuda added that it would require significant preparations and investment. We'd also have to consider whether or not it will work well, solely including our own catalog titles. At present, as I say, we are offering our games on multiple subscription services, including Microsoft's, but eventually I do think that we need to get to the point where we have enough insight that we can build our own service. So this is interesting, and it adds to the conversation of, are subscription services good for gamers? Because more and more companies seem to be jumping on the bandwagon where they see the success of something like Game Pass and they're like, well, why can't we do that? And the only problem with that is that if specific developers or publishers start creating their own subscription services, they are inherently limited to their own games. Things like Game Pass flourish because it has so many different games from so many different companies. Whereas if Square Enix started their own version of Game Pass, it would just be Square games. And that, at a conceptual level, is very limiting. So are you willing to pay a certain amount of money a month just to play Square games, where there's a very good possibility that those games are available on something else like Game Pass? Like, where do we draw the line with these kinds of things?
I don't know, man.
It's just interesting to see that more and more developers are jumping on this bandwagon, and like I just said, I'm a huge shill for Game Pass. I love what Game Pass is doing. But a lot of the appeal of Game Pass is that there's so many different games included. Like, it's a wide variety from different developers and publishers and companies. If all of the developers and publishers and companies start making their own subscription services for their own games, like, how many different services are we going to have at this point? And are people going to be willing to pay $5-10 a month to play nothing but Square Enix games, even though Square Enix has a very long list of games? Again, it's inherently limited to just those games, whereas something like Game Pass is hugely popular because it's a wide variety of games from different people. So
yeah,
it could work. I think there's a big enough fan base on Square Enix alone where something like this could work for them specifically, but different developers, I'm not exactly sure. But I threw this in here because it is big news, and if this is the direction Square Enix is heading, they've got a very interesting future ahead of them. But moving on, our last piece of news before we get to the main purpose of this podcast, The Witcher 3. So we got confirmation during Nintendo's E3 Direct that The Witcher is coming to Switch. Unfortunately, it comes at a very high price. Because we got confirmation from CD Projekt Red that this game's not going to run the best. So let's read.
Wow, who would have guessed it?
Yeah. CD Projekt Red has confirmed the resolutions that The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt will run at on Nintendo Switch. The developer revealed in a tweet that the game will run at 540p while in handheld mode, with this being bumped up to 720p with dynamic resolution scaling when docked. As previously announced, the entirety of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Complete Edition will be housed on the game card, including the Hearts of Stone and Blood and Wine expansions, as well as 16 free pieces of DLC. So.
Oh, boy. 540p.
Okay.
Is this the GameCube?
To be fair, this is not the first game on the Switch to run at that resolution. I'm pretty sure the Insane Trilogy, the Crash Bandicoot Trilogy, ran at 540p while in handheld mode. So this isn't new. However, for a game as big as The Witcher, it's a very big blow. The thing that got me, though, which I did not know until I read this article, is that when docked, it's 720p dynamic resolution. So that doesn't guarantee that it will always be 720p when docked either.
It could scale itself down to 540.
Yeah, even when docked, it could be 540 because that's how dynamic resolution works. The resolution automatically changes itself depending on how taxing the game is running at that point. So a lot of first-party Nintendo games have dynamic resolution, but all of them are like 1080p max. So, Josh, I know you want to go on about this, so you have the floor.
Okay, people. So, Witcher 3. Let me first say this. It's amazing that they got it to work on the Switch. This is absolutely impressive.
The one thing, sorry to interrupt, but the one thing that really impresses me the most about this is the fact that they're putting everything on the game card. Because we've had publishers and developers like Capcom who put one game that's less than a gig on the game card and then make you download the other. And then here comes CD Projekt Red. It's like, hey, we got this big ass 100+ hour RPG with all of our expansions and DLC on the game card, no separate download required. That's impressive. The fact that they could fit everything on the game card without any separate downloads, that's the most impressive part. But clearly it came at a cost.
Which, yes, 540p. On handheld mode, it's gonna look garbage no matter what. Let's get the first thing out of the way. It's going to look bad.
Well, that we already knew that because the trailer they showed during the Direct, we actively made comments. Wow, that kind of looks like poo.
Yes, we knew that. It's going to look bad. But 540p on a full-sized TV, because that's what most people will play their Nintendo Switch on, is a full-screen TV.
Mm-hmm.
And 540p is not going to look good.
Yeah.
It's not going to look good.
Especially since they confirmed that it's not 720p locked when docked. It's dynamic, so it's gonna bump down depending.
Even 720 isn't going to look good. You will notice it's going to be blurry. It's going to be visibly blurry. I have a good feeling there's gonna be lag spikes.
Oh yeah. The original game was the original game had those too. So
it's just, I understand they want to get a whole bunch of games and whatnot on the Switch, but this is kind of pushing it.
Yeah, just a tad. Like, how are people going to take this? Like, are most people
will be happy. But just looking at the gameplay, like, this looks like an early Xbox 360 game.
I can't argue with that, to be honest.
Like,
like, okay, are most people going to be willing to look past that just to play Witcher on handheld?
Yes. But we can still make fun of it.
Yeah.
Because just...
It doesn't mean that it's ideal. Like, hello, what is this?
Like, look at that.
Yeah, I know. Don't worry. I was playing the trailer in the background. It doesn't look great.
It does not.
But most people won't care because they'll be able to play Witcher 3 on the toilet. So the dip in resolution is just the sacrifice that must be made.
You'll be able to have sex on the toilet.
Because Witcher 3 is sex.
I'm also surprised Nintendo's actually putting it on the Switch because it is...
I'm not surprised at this point because ever since the Wii U, Nintendo has become a lot more lenient with these types of games. Like,
I guess. I mean, they put Nekopara on the Switch, but...
The thing that changed my mind about Nintendo not wanting mature games on their consoles was when they financed Bayonetta 2. That was the moment when I was like, okay, Nintendo is slowly shifting. They're slowly shifting their mentality. They're not going to be as strict about what games are on their system. And clearly, we've seen with the Switch, there's been a whole bunch of different kinds of games on that already, so...
Nekopara, cough, cough.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that they allowed Witcher to be ported over, even with how graphic it can be. But again, this isn't an ideal situation. I'm sure everyone wanted Witcher 3 to run better on the Switch, but I'm pretty sure everyone knew that this was going to happen. Like, it's just what had to be done to get this thing running properly. So, it's sad, but I'm sure most people will overlook it. And with that said, that's our last piece of news. However, before we wrap up here, there's something that I feel we need to talk about. And trust me, I don't want to talk about it. But with everything that's happened, I can't ignore it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. First off, rest in peace, my dude. You were the ultimate hype man. It's unfortunate. It really is.
So, sorry, I had to switch my audio capture for a minute. So, Etika. If you're not familiar with Etika, he was a gaming YouTuber and streamer. He became very popular over the last few years. He became known for his reaction videos, which that's how I found out about him. When he reacted to things like Smash character reveals and the like. However, the last year had not been kind to Etika. He had been suffering from several instances of mental illness. His channel was terminated late last year after he streamed porn to it. He got arrested in April after he posted suicidal comments on Reddit. Just, things were going downhill for Etika fast. And it all culminated last week when he posted a video on his channel simply titled, "I'm Sorry," where he talked I watched the video. It was very clearly a goodbye video. Like, he was 100% committed to taking his own life. And he was reported missing last Wednesday. There was a follow-up report that said the police had found his belongings on, I believe, the Manhattan Bridge. So everyone jumped to the worst-case scenario that he jumped and took his own life. We got confirmation yesterday that his body was found in the Manhattan River. Etika is deceased. And it's just, I'm trying not to cry, honestly, because it's just this could really be a whole podcast on its own about what happened to Etika and how we got here, but that's not what we're here to talk about. I wanted to take the time to briefly discuss Etika and properly honor his memory, which is why I'm dedicating this podcast to Etika. May he rest in peace. It's just
he was the best hype man.
It's just it's so goddamn sad. Like, I hate hearing these kinds of stories because if you knew Etika, if you knew him in real life, in passing, or just watched his content, you know that this man was the kindest, most gentle soul you could possibly meet. He just had such an erratic energy to him. He was always uplifting. So it makes it all the more sadder that someone like this, such a kind, gentle soul, lost to mental illness. And it's not fair, in all honesty. Like, why someone like Etika is now gone when people like Donald Trump are still allowed to live. It's just not fair. But what's done is done. We can't go back and change anything. Etika is gone, and we all have to live with that now. So, may he rest in peace. God damn, I'm trying not to cry. It's just
he'll get to play his favorite Smash characters in heaven now with the boys.
Yeah, he'll get to train his Ridley in heaven.
He'll be the ultimate hype man.
I always wanted to even have the opportunity to meet Etika, because just watching his stuff, I knew how cool of a dude he was. And unfortunately, that will never come to be now. But
he was fucking hilarious, man.
I just want to... I know this is very somber, but of course, what else could it be? I just want to quickly thank Etika for all that he did for the gaming community, how he brought so many people together and brought so much joy and happiness into people's lives. Joycon Boyz forever.
You're a real G, my dude.
And it's sad to think that he's gone and we'll never see any more content from him, but that's the harsh reality of the situation, is that things like this happen all the time, and no one realizes what's wrong until it's too late. So,
also, to the people who are making fun of this situation...
Yeah, fuck those people, okay? Like...
Eat a dick or something, I don't know.
Like, if you're one of the people who memed this entire situation and made fun of it, you deserve to be in hell. Like, you are going to hell, and I hope you realize that. You deserved to die, not Etika. But I know that's not what Etika would want me to say. So, I'm sorry, but yeah, thank you, Etika, for everything you did. May you rest in peace. Joycon Boyz forever. And
the ultimate hype man.
Yeah, and of course, again, like I said, no one realizes what's wrong until it's too late. So please, for the love of God, anyone listening, if you or someone you know is suffering from mental illness and they are struggling, please get help. There are so many different outlets that you can go to. There's the National Suicide Hotline. There's therapy. Go see a doctor. Talk to someone, please. I know that it's easier said than done if you're in that situation. I know you feel like you're not worth helping and that everything is just never going to get better. Trust me, it does. Get help. Talk to someone about it. It does wonders. So I'm going to find the list of the all of the different national suicide prevention hotlines. I'll put it in the description of this video. If you or someone you know are struggling, please find help. You might not feel like you are deserving of it, but trust me, you are. Don't be like Etika. Don't take the easy way out. Get some help. It will be worth it. So, God rest his soul. Thank you, Etika, for everything. This episode of Bearded Banter is dedicated to your memory. And with that said, I tried so hard not to cry during that, but with that said, we can wrap things up here. So thank you for watching another episode of Bearded Banter. I'm sorry we got to that very depressing point at the end, but with everything that had happened over the last 24 hours, I couldn't ignore the Etika thing. I had to pay my respects. With that said, we're going to wrap things up. Thanks for watching another episode of Bearded Banter. I have been your host, Shane, the Bearded One. You can follow me on Twitter at BeardedGamingN, where I post all sorts of things relating to gaming, anime, movies, and a bunch of memes. So go follow me there, especially if you want to keep up on all of the BGN content that is released. Also, subscribe to the channel down below. Click the bell to get notifications on when we upload. With me is my son, Josh. You can find him on Twitter at RebornWeeb. What do you even do on Twitter anymore, Josh?
I don't know.
Okay. So go follow him there.
I exist. I exist.
He exists in the ether of Twitter. So go follow him at RebornWeeb. And with that said, we're pretty much done here. So thanks for watching another episode of Bearded Banter. We will see you in 2 weeks for another exciting episode. We'll be back on normal schedule soon. Don't worry. But we'll see you next time. Keep on gaming, everyone.